Lunchtime, kids! All right!
Yum, 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 yum.
Hello, friends. It's lunchtime.
It's Wednesday in America, noon in Dallas, and you're watching The Lunch Break on Real News Communications Network. I'm your host, Matt Stoker. With me today is Zach Lewis in the production booth, control room. It's a two-man crew today.
It's true. Just the two of us.
Josh Hart has gone missing. I don't know. I don't know where he is. He's disappeared. It's sad, really. I mean, we've sent out a search party, but so far they've turned up no results. So it's just the two of us. Just the two of us.
Just the two of us.
And things have already gone off the rails, folks. Welcome to the Lunch Break on RNCN, your Monday, Wednesday, and Friday midday extravaganza. We hope you're gathered around, warmed by the glow of your computer screen or your phone or whatever you're watching us on. Again, you're watching us probably on Facebook, hopefully, if you are. If you're catching this somewhere else, go by the Facebook page. That's Real News Communications Network, and give us a follow and catch us, again, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday middays.
Shout out to Sarah Curley in the comments. She said, hi, Matt. Hi, Zach. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
How's it going?
Yeah, nice. I'm glad we have one
Good to see you.
Loyal
It's
follower.
been a minute. Haven't seen you since like last week. Hope you're doing okay.
Yeah.
If you need anything, let us know. Send help.
We're here for you.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you can also catch us on our YouTube page. Search Real News Communications Network on YouTube, and you can catch the replay of this show, because we know you all want to go back and watch a bunch of guys talk about the news of the day a week from now, I'm sure.
How much do you go back and watch this show?
At
all?
I mean, out of vanity's sake,
Yeah.
quite a bit. Yeah, I go back and laugh at all the things that I said.
Yeah.
I think about, oh gosh, I could have said something funnier there, and
Yeah.
I should have spoken over this person there. No, not every now and then I'll go back and just see how it looked, but I don't watch it back maybe I should watch it back more and critique myself a little bit. I'm not sure.
I go back probably every other episode. Really, honestly, yeah, what I do is click around at the bits that I think are the best. Usually things I say.
Right,
Right.
exactly.
It's that time I landed a funny line or a
Yeah.
great zinger and everybody laughed. That's what I'll go back and watch.
And I laugh to myself and sit at home alone. Think about the good days, like a couple days ago.
That's right. Yeah, that
Speaking-
time I had that
yeah,
great zinger.
Speaking
Yeah.
of the good days, it's Pi Day.
It is.
Did you know that? Did you know that it was Pi Day before I told you that it was Pi Day?
I did actually, believe it or not.
Pi Day being Pi Day, the mathematical number, 3.14. People have to attach a meaning to every date on the calendar.
Yeah.
Pi Day, May the 4th is a stupid one that I really think should go away.
I think we're attracted to abstract concepts because it makes our lives much more interesting.
Yeah.
But it turns out, it's spoiler alert, it's not much more interesting. Pi Day's kind of lame, just like all the other days. But people do things for Pi Day.
Just
be
an excuse
fair.
to be clever.
It's right. Yes, that is exactly what it is.
Yeah, people do things. So again, March 14th, 3.14, relating to the mathematical constant of pi. But people turn Pi Day into a celebration of pie, the food, and so they eat pies, throw pies. I think there's actually pie upstairs today.
There's supposed to be. Let
I
me
don't know if
rephrase
it's
that.
here yet.
There had better be.
Yeah.
Right.
Although we're stuck down here for the rest of the day, so unless somebody brings us food, there's nothing we can do about it. But yeah, Pi Day, and it's fitting in a way because late last night we heard the I guess you would call it sad news. Stephen Hawking passing away.
Yes.
A legendary physicist, mathematician, worked in cosmology and trying to understand the universe, and very well known. The Stephen Hawking, who was confined to a wheelchair and had to speak through a computer-generated voice, but still managed to carry out a life's worth, maybe more than a life's worth of work in the realm of physics. And one thing I was always impressed by with Stephen Hawking was, despite being basically paralyzed, he still managed to have a good to convey a good sense of personality through this computer voice that he used.
Yeah.
And he was a character in The Simpsons and on a few other. I think he was on Star Trek. I think he was on Futurama. So he knew how to not only poke fun of it at himself, but play maybe against type a little bit and kind of show some personality that you might not have expected from a physicist and someone with his condition. So I think I always appreciated that about him, that he could, find the humor in that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Hawking was, he's a sharp cat. He really is. It's a bummer. Somebody said it so well, because Stephen Hawking was one of those people you kind of didn't think about, but he was always, he's a hopeful individual, right? He's a guy who was diagnosed with an illness, and he had 2 years to live, and he made it 55 years on that bill. And he was there before us, and it kind of just felt like he was always going to be there after, you know? Stephen Hawking was just going to always be around. So it's a bummer, yeah. And a lot of people have said some fairly, profound for Twitter, but profound things on Twitter about him and kind of his experience with the universe. Yeah, it feels like we're losing one of the greats, man. It feels like the day Einstein died. And I wasn't there for that, but I mean, if I had been, I feel like that's how it feels, right?
Yeah, I think it relates. Neil deGrasse Tyson, the well-known astrophysicist, I guess, he said, his passing has left an intellectual vacuum in his wake, but it's not empty. Think of it as a vacuum energy permeating the fabric of space-time that defies measure. So clearly well-respected. Here's Stephen Hawking, actually interviewed by CNN a number of years ago about his illness and how he's tried to deal with it.
I don't have much positive to say about motor neuron disease, but it taught me not to pity myself and to get on with what I still could do. I am happier now than before I developed the condition.
So yeah, he says there that it inspired him to go and continue to try to pursue his life's work and not let it stop him. And I think in that way he's very inspiring to people who may be dealing or may not be dealing with any sort of physical issue, but just, why aren't you out there going after what it is you want to do? If Stephen Hawking had the perseverance to, in that situation, I think any of us could have easily given up, and he didn't. Yeah,
he's a really rad dude. He's one of those guys I always wanted to see speak at some point, would have liked to have, I don't know, run into the man at some point, it's you pass somebody who truly is great, and it's a bummer he's gone. But,
yeah. And you're right. It was when I heard the news, I was both surprised and not surprised. Not surprised in the sense that one, he was older, and two, he had a very severe illness. And but you're right. It felt like he was just kind of going to be there. He was just a constant.
Yeah,
you didn't really consider.
You never think he's going away.
Yeah, you didn't really consider him ever passing away. So. Stephen Hawking, see you at the crossroads. We will be back on the lunch break when, I guess is probably the proper. When we will discuss the companies with the best reputation. Are some of your favorites on it? I know you're waiting to hear that, so we'll talk about that. Coming up here on RNCN on the lunch break, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Stick around. And we're back here on the lunch break on RNCN. I'm Matt Stoker, alongside Zach Lewis. We are holding it down for you for the next 50 minutes of your life. I hope you stay with us. It's going to be a fun time. So I told you there was a recent Harris poll that surveyed a bunch of consumers, to use a terrible term. I always hate that word, consumers. It feels so, I don't know, like a dystopian future sci-fi novel term for human beings. They're just consumers. But anyway, if you consume, you are a consumer. This poll surveyed a bunch of them and wanted to find out which were the best companies based on reputation. How do you feel about a company? Are there certain companies that you just have a certain when you think about them, you feel good and you want to go buy their products or go shop there or whatever?
You know, it's funny. We had a survey go around just the other day. Yesterday, I think most of us did it here at RNCN.
Right.
It was just asking some basic things about how you interact with companies and whether or not you buy products based on the packaging and whether or not you're more inclined to buy a product based on whether or not it's environmentally friendly, what company it's coming from, and how much you know about them. Honestly, I think as a consumer, I'm usually more inclined to purchase something based on how it affects my life and how it's useful. I'm usually not fooled by packaging, and in the age of Amazon and shipping things to your house, who would be, right? Most things I get come in a cardboard box. It's not exactly compelling packaging. And as far as environmentally friendly things go, those are certainly something worth considering, but I don't think my Xbox is particularly environmentally friendly, but I bought that. That didn't stop me. So I'm very selfish in that way.
Yeah.
As far as being a consumer is concerned.
Interesting you should mention Amazon because they do make this list of the top 10 companies based on reputation. We'll start at number 10. And in fact, what's interesting on this is many of these are grocery stores. A lot of grocery stores, people love their grocery stores.
Sure.
And I guess I'm the same way. If there's one that I like more than another, I'm going to go to that store.
What grocery store do you go to? What's your go-to?
I got to out myself here. Mostly I go to Albertsons. I like Albertsons.
Okay. Oh, that's not so bad. Hey, yeah, Albertsons has heart.
Seems all right. There is a Kroger closer to us, but I don't like the store. So
really?
I don't go there. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's just kind of. I mean, I'm sorry. It's just kind of crummy. It's just kind of it's kind of a bad experience. So.
It's like a Kroger Select. It's not like a Kroger Signature Kroger. Yeah, those are great.
Yeah,
I am a Kroger man, just because the one we have by us is actually really nice, and it's a shame because it's a Target right down the way, and I would go there, but it's not a super Target. Which, if you don't know the difference, means it's everything a Target would have, but they don't have cold beer. So,
which is the only
that's enough for me, to not
exactly.
go there. But it really is. I'm one of those people who will pay whatever price it takes to not go to Walmart. As long as I don't have to go there, I'll do it.
Walmart did not make the list.
No surprise there.
No surprise there. So we'll start at number 10 because that's how any good list will go. We count down to number 1, keep you in suspense until the end of this segment, so you stick around. Aldi came in number 10, which is actually the other grocery store that we go to if not going to Albertsons. Aldi is actually a pretty decent grocery store.
All right, yeah, I've been to Aldi once or twice. Yeah, you got one near
you?
All
right. Yeah, there's one near me. It's a little bit farther out, but I can stop there on the way home.
I think my problem with Aldi is I'm not willing to change my grocery habits enough to justify going there. Like I said, selfish consumer.
Yeah.
I don't want to put a nickel in the cart.
It's a quarter, actually.
It's a quarter, right. I don't want to have to pony up a quarter. I am a big fan of the cart return. I had to push carts once in high school, for a summer gig, and it was awful. So I'm fine. I'm doing cart return. I don't want to have to pony up a quarter. I like the selection offered by a normal grocery store because I've heard that. Josh, the guy who's not here, he said that he likes something like Trader Joe's because it limits your selection, limits your choice.
Right, you're kind of like if you're looking for peanut butter, they've got a couple of different kinds, and you either buy the crunchy or the creamy, and that's pretty much it.
Right, I like the selection. Yeah. I like the option. I like trying new things. So. Aldi, I don't feel like has that, but I can respect the low price.
You can get if you're looking. This is not a commercial for Aldi, but if you're looking for the basics, you can get by pretty. If there's anything specific that you want or a specific brand, they're probably not going to have it, but they do have some name brand stuff, and you can get your basic essentials there to kind of. I'd say 90% of what you're looking for at a grocery store you can get at Aldi.
How's the produce over there? Good produce?
It's all right.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'd probably go somewhere else for produce, if we're going to be honest. Patagonia, number 9. The clothing retailer, Patagonia, number 9. Publix supermarkets. I don't think we have those down here.
I've never heard of that before in my life.
But again, another grocery store. Number 7, UPS. People are fans of UPS.
What?
Yeah.
UPS?
United Parcel Service. Comes in at number 7.
You know, I know some people.
Reputation.
I know some people that work at UPS, so I don't want to. I don't want to out UPS, but man, I got some UPS stories. But yeah, I've heard of people that really dig UPS over something like DHL or FedEx or
Tune in
USPS.
For our after-hour show, UPS stories.
That's right. Yeah, more on UPS at 1.
Number 6, a local-ish grocery chain, H-E-B. So they don't have any in Dallas.
Why don't they have any of those in Dallas?
I don't know. It's some sort of weird, I think, competition going on.
Because they're all over Houston. They got them in Fort Worth. They got them in Austin.
Yeah,
none in Dallas.
Waxahachie, I think, is probably the closest one
Really?
to Dallas. Yeah. It's mostly south of Dallas where you're going to find it. But HB is a good grocery store.
Yeah.
Number 5, the juggernaut of companies, Walt Disney, the Walt Disney Corporation, is at number 5. You're shaking your head as if that's a terrible thing.
Walt Disney's taken over the world, man. Like he's 6 feet under, and it's not stopping him.
I'd have to imagine that probably a large number of the people surveyed were probably Walt Disney employees, just from statistical guessing.
Oh man, yeah. Disney. It scares me, man. They're getting like a monopoly on entertainment, and that's for a whole other show. That's not for this list. But we'll talk about that sometime. Yeah, stay tuned.
Number 4, the only fast food chain to make the list, coming in at number 4 is Chick-fil-A.
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 They're only open 6 days a week. What are they doing on this list?
I guess people appreciate that. I don't know, scarcity or something. That it is funny how Sundays are the one day that you drive by and you see a Chick-fil-A and you think, oh gosh, I really wish I could have that right now, and it's not. But they make a good chicken sandwich.
Chick-fil-A, like the Disney Vault, where they stash all their movies that they only sell sometimes, is corporate evidence that like absence truly makes the heart grow fonder. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. Number 3, the only car manufacturer on the list, Tesla.
Love Tesla.
People love Tesla. It's just it's a cool thing. So yeah, I can understand why that has a better reputation than some others.
Yeah, Tesla is like the shiny new toy of cars.
Yeah.
If you can get into Tesla, man, you've made it.
Number 2, our highest rated grocery store is Wegmans.
Wegmans.
I think it's actually more like a convenience store. It's I believe in the Northeast, Wegmans. And then number 1, top slot, Amazon. Amazon.com.
Amazon.com.
Is the top company based on reputation. Interesting, looking at last year's list, Apple was 5th on the list last year, and they fell all the way to 29th. And Google was 8th, and they went to 28. So people are turning on Apple and Google. For some reason, I don't know if it's a tech backlash, or I'm not really sure what. I guess maybe some people worried about people spying on them or something like that. I have no idea.
I think people are turning on Google just because they're taking over the world and they're gonna own everything one day. I think people are turning on Apple because Apple hasn't come up with anything really cool in like 5 years. I mean, come on, like the Apple Watch is pretty cool, but they also came out with like the Apple Pen. Right, that sticks straight out of your iPad, and like the new iPhone isn't all that cool. Like it's, I don't know, man. They've seemingly lost a little bit of innovation somewhere.
Yeah. I'm sure you're wondering what the bottom of the list was. And coming in at 99th, I'm not sure how long it was, but 99th.
An honor.
As the Weinstein Company. I wonder why.
Yeah, that's weird. They made Lord of the Rings. Yeah, what happened there?
Who doesn't love them?
Yeah, wow.
And at the very bottom, which I don't have a number for this, but at the very bottom is Takata, which is a Japanese auto parts supplier, which if you've heard their name in the news, it's because their airbags have been blowing up and killing people. At least 22 deaths linked to Takata airbags. So rightfully so, they don't have a very good reputation. I think that's probably well earned.
Did you say they're above or below the Weinstein Company?
They're below. They're at the very bottom. Yeah, they're at the very bottom.
Well, that's... yeah,
so that tells you about our priorities.
No rest for the wicked. That's right.
No, not at all. When we get back,
you know what we should talk about? We didn't get into Pie Day. We didn't talk about pie at all. We
didn't talk. Like
we
actual
barely
pie?
Covered it. I know. We slipped right into Stephen Hawking.
All right, we'll talk about pie whenever we get back. What's your
Yeah.
favorite pie? Leave it in the comments. Find us on Facebook at Real News Communications Network. I don't know how you're watching this right now if you're not watching it on Facebook, although we are on YouTube too. But go buy one of those. Leave us a comment. What's your favorite pie? I know everybody loves talking about that, so we'll have that coming up on the lunch break here on RNCN. We'll be right back. All right, as promised, Zach, what's your favorite pie?
Well, I wanted to give a shout out to Andy in the comments. Andy Draper, of course, our favorite commenter, who said pecan pie.
Pecan pie. Is that how you say that?
I think that's like a bit because he said it. In all
he wrote it
caps,
that way.
yeah,
Pecan
with
pie.
a hyphen in there.
Pecan pie is good. It's one that I came to late in the game. I was very picky. I came to pie late. I was
How do you
always
come to pie late in the game.
I never trusted it for some reason because the only thing I ever pie to me or pie in my family was pecan pie and pumpkin pie.
Okay.
Neither of which when I was a kid I really liked. I was not really big on the nuts.
Yeah. Very autumnal pies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of fall pie.
That's the only time that you would see pie. Apple pie as well, and I don't like baked apples all that much. So
Okay.
There was like when it came to pie, it was I'm not eating pie. Cake, chocolate cake, white cake, vanilla cake, all about it. Obviously,
We got that bit from Forrest Gump with like shrimp, potato shrimp, gumbo shrimp, shrimp soup.
Yeah, carrot cake. But pie was never a thing. So I think I delved into cheesecake first, which is a nice little in between. I think it's mostly pie.
That
but they call
bridges
it
that gap. Yeah.
and then expanded to my personal favorite, which is cherry pie. And I've gone from there. But yeah, pecan pie, pretty good. I picked that up over the last couple of years, and big fan of it.
I feel pretty good saying you have passed the test. You have the correct answer. Cherry pie is the best pie.
Oh gosh, it's
the
best. It's the king of
yeah.
pies. I don't care what anybody says.
I'll tell you what it
is.
is.
The best pie there is.
It's that sugar glaze. That's what settles it. Yeah, you get the cherry and you get that like sweet little bit of kind of syrupy goodness in there. Oh man,
It's
you can't
tart,
beat it. Yeah.
and you get that thing hot, and you throw a little ice cream on it. Oh my god! If they don't have cherry pie upstairs, I'm walking out.
I know.
Not doing the rest of the day.
I've been trying to be pretty strict about this stupid diet, and Christine wakes up today and she's like, "Hey, today's pie day." I said, "I know. It's Devin's birthday upstairs. Shout out to Devin. Happy birthday."
Yeah.
And she said, "I'm gonna swing by the grocery store today." I said, "Cool." She said, "You want me to pick up just a little mini pie? You know what I'm talking about? One of those minis?"
Yeah. It's like a couple of bites or something like that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
basically the size of a slice,
Right.
But shaped like a full pie.
It's like $1.99. Yeah, and
You
I
feel like
and
a giant eating it.
right. And I was like, "No, come on. I'm not gonna do that." She goes, "Cherry pie on pie day? Come on now." It's like,
Come on. I'm gonna have to do that. Like if they don't have that upstairs, I'm gonna have to go stop on my way home and buy it.
I will stop on my way to lunch and get one of those. Yeah, we'll make that happen. This is a lunch break. Why don't we have it here?
I know. This is terrible. We're falling down on our job.
What are we doing?
So yeah, cherry pie, the best. Leave us a comment for the rest of the day. It's pie day. What is your favorite pie? We'd love to hear from you. Go on Facebook.
I dropped this in the comments and nobody took the bait. So I'm curious. What is objectively better to you, cake or pie?
I think
You had to live with one for the rest of your life. Tropical island, you only get one. What do you go for?
cake probably.
Really?
Yeah, probably. Because again, it's one of those things where cherry pie is my all-time favorite dessert, but then it's like a number of cakes and then more pie.
Yeah.
So I think as a broad, it's like they occupy like 2 through 7 on my list of favorite desserts are cakes. So I'm probably gonna go with cake.
I think I'd go pie. There's something about it. Cake is good, but I feel like cake's easy to screw up. It can be too dry. It can be weird. It can have an off flavor. Like pie is like, it's robust, man. There's something about it. It hits you in the mouth.
And you can feel healthy, like you're eating fruit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're eating something.
Well, I mean, let's
good for you.
let's not forget, cake is made with dairy. All right, there's flour, there's eggs.
Yeah.
That's nutrition.
It's all good for you.
That's all good for you. Yeah. But yeah, I can get into pie. You know what's underrated? Cobbler, right in the middle.
Oh, I love a good cherry. Again, I love a good cherry cobbler. Blackberry cobbler. I'm a big fan of blackberry cobbler.
Yeah, I'm a big cobbler fan.
Peach cobbler.
Cobbler gets a bad rap. Yeah. Cobbler's pretty great.
Yeah. Let's talk about desserts more.
Yeah, what else can we talk about?
Let's talk about OJ. How about?
Oh, wow.
So if you remember, longtime viewers of the show may remember on Monday we discussed this interview that was released over the weekend of OJ Simpson seemingly confessing to the murder of his wife and her, I guess, boyfriend at the time, I believe, was their relationship. Everybody knows he went on trial. He was acquitted. But around 2006, he did an interview with Fox News where he said this.
Things got heated. I just remember Nicole fell and hurt herself. And this guy kind of got into a karate thing. And I said, well, you think you can kick my ass? And I remember I grabbed a knife. I do remember that portion, taking a knife from Charlie. And to be honest, after that, I don't remember, except I'm standing there and there's all kind of stuff around and
What kind of stuff?
blood and stuff around. I hate to say this, but this is hypothetical. I'm sorry.
Right.
So we heard that audio and thought, I mean, he's pretty much confessing to the crime, to the murder. It sounds like
not really though. I don't think we'll ever get any kind of honest, straightforward, here's the deal kind of situation, unless we've already gotten it and he really didn't do it. But who knows?
It obviously created quite a few waves in I don't know, in the world. I guess people were talking. I heard a lot of people talking about it, and his lawyer or one of his lawyers, part of his dream team, Sean Hawley, spoke about this supposed confession and is not convinced that he's actually confessing to the crime.
Right.
O.J. Simpson is a lot of things, but one of the things that he is not is stupid. So the only way that he would come on television and talk about a murder that he committed is if there were some parameters set up within the interview in which he was to assume the character or the persona of the murderer. And he does that.
So she raises an interesting hypothesis that the interviewer asked him to say, well, again, this was around the time that he was going to release a book titled If I Did It. So already he's in that headspace of, if I were to commit this crime, here's how it would go. So his lawyer is saying, look, he's not saying he committed the crime. He's just saying the interviewer probably asked him, well, try to imagine if you were, walk us through what that would be like, and tell that story. And then it gets edited down and made to look like he's saying, well, this is what happened. But I guess there is some plausible deniability there of him saying, no, I was playing out the character of O.J., who is believed to have committed this double murder.
Right. It's not exercise. Like, why even ask that question? What's the point? It doesn't establish anything. It doesn't give us anything. You're right. It just seems like sensationalism. But that being said, real quick, who was that? His lawyer that said he wasn't stupid? Why did he answer the question? If he's such a brilliant man, why did he roll right into that in 2006? Like, why was that all right?
That doesn't sound like a smart person to me who's going to entertain the notion of, okay, well, if I did do it, here's what it might have looked like. No, that's a smart person would say, I'm not answering that. Smart person would not have released that book either. So it's kind of up to you to judge whether or not his lawyer is correct in saying that he's not stupid, but it just doesn't feel like the kind of thing that if an innocent person would entertain that notion at all, in saying, well, maybe let's have a little thought experiment about what could have happened were I to have done this crime, which I did not do.
Right, like I get Fox like trying to get a cool clip to use for something, but they didn't even use it. They ended up sitting on it for 12 years or something, and I don't think smart people rob people and go to jail for 9 years. Like, that's just not something I attribute to smart individuals. But I guess you're right. If you say it really, really forcefully, OJ isn't stupid. So,
I guess
that's
so.
Cool. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, a shocking piece of audio, regardless. But I don't think we'll ever get a definitive answer out of OJ about. I don't think if he did do it, I don't think he'll ever come out and say, yeah, I did it. A deathbed confession. I doubt we'll ever get that.
Even if he did, there'd be people who were like, "Oh, he was out of his mind. He didn't know what he was saying."
Sure.
Yeah, it'll never be a thing.
When we come back on the lunch break, I'm going to read you some of my emails. One of my emails. How about that for a tease? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Are you excited?
I am actually.
Get ready.
I can't wait to hear this.
Get ready. You won't believe what I got in my email. That's coming up here on the lunch break on RNC. And we're back on the lunch break on Real News Communications Network. Again, you're probably watching us on Facebook right now. That's facebook.com/Real News Communications Network. All one word. Type it out. Follow your boys. Come find us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here, noon Central Time, from noon until 1, bringing you the trendiest, hottest topics of the day. And just basically making your life better.
You know what?
That's what we do.
You know what makes a person feel good on a Wednesday?
What's that?
Hitting the follow button. Just,
it does.
Just hit that. Man.
I've never felt better than when I got up in the morning and I went and found a great page to follow on Facebook so that I could be kept up to date with all the things that they're doing throughout the day. And this is one of them. So please go follow us. You'll be alerted when we go live.
Yep.
And you'll get great content like this. I'm going to read you an email that I got. Not I got. My wife got it a while back. And I've been sitting on this for a little while, wondering what to do with it because I loved it.
Now that Josh isn't here,
now that Josh isn't here, now the inmates are running the asylum, I'm just gonna dig through my email. So we got this one. It's listed as from FBI office. This is from the FBI office.
The office of the FBI?
The office of the FBI, which their email address, I won't give out the whole thing, but it's basically fbi.gov@usa.com. So it sounds legit to me. USA.com.
That
obviously.
checks out.
That's our website for the nation.
That passes the smell test.
FBI office. This comes from Agent Josh. Agent Josh is sending us an email and wanting us to know the subject line is notice of an ongoing investigation. In parentheses, FBI. An ongoing FBI investigation. So nice of them to reach out to us and let us know that there's an ongoing investigation.
Yeah, so far so great. I'm hooked. What's next?
This says attention recipient. So already I'm a little suspicious. If they're investigating me, they should at least know my name.
Right. No identification necessary.
No. Attention recipient. Good day. This is Jackson Josh from the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Jackson Josh?
Yeah, Jackson Josh.
What?
I love the name.
Whose
Jackson
name
Josh.
is that?
This guy, Agent Jackson Josh from the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
That name's backwards. Should be Josh Jackson.
Agent
Jackson, that adds up.
Well, that's, if it's Josh Jackson, that just sounds fake. Jackson Josh, clearly.
People around the precinct could call him JJ. That adds up. Josh Jackson.
Cool.
Yeah.
Agent Josh. We received a call yesterday from IMF West Africa stating that your fund have been canceled due to your inability to provide the requirements. In our conversation with the director, he stated that the fund have overstayed in his custody and he will not bear the consequence of any loss that happens to the fund. He finalized by saying we, the United States government, should come and take control of the fund. So already right there, that's the only period in that sentence is the one at the very end. The rest of that was commas. Sorry, only little or none will America government help you in this case because the funding question is not under America but Africa. We would like to know your opinion in this transaction and what aspect do you think United States government can help you? Your immediate response can be helpful to you. Thanks, Agent Josh. Got a little worried when I got this thing. I don't know about you.
Why?
I don't know about you, but I got this email and I thought, my goodness. Agent Josh says I'm under investigation for a fund that I sent to West Africa. So I don't know what I should do about it. Folks, weigh in if I should reach back out to Agent Josh of the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Okay, I don't know who sends funds to West Africa, but hear me out there. Is there any chance this is some kind of follow-up scam on the infamous Nigerian prince email?
Yeah, I think it has evolved a little bit because it certainly feels that way. And I don't want to make fun of people who fall for scams because people fall for scams all the time.
Yeah, it happens.
And some that are much more tricky to suss out than that one, I would say. But I can't imagine a scenario in which that email would work on me or anyone else I know. Like it's ludicrous to think that that's going to capture someone and get them to turn over their bank account, but I know it happens.
I think we like to think that like the modern criminal, maybe this is because of television or movies, I don't know, but I think we like to think that the modern criminal is just a little more intelligent than they actually are. Like, and this is a fine example of this. I got a call once, back when we were still in the upstairs office. One day I'm walking out of work and I get a call from some unknown number, and every once in a while I'll pick it up just out of curiosity, see if I win a cruise or something. And sure enough, it's some robocall. Some female, it wasn't a woman, it was a female computer voice, right, as it goes, and it was explaining to me that I am wanted for some kind of crime in Louisiana for some kind of debit card fraud.
Oh,
and
that's serious.
And this is the official line of the FBI, and if I don't do something, and this is what tipped me off, they'll call the feds on me. That's what
Aren't
it
they the
said.
feds?
Yeah, we'll call the feds on you. I'm like, okay, well that sounds real official. I don't. It's difficult to type a message like that out into any device nowadays and have it not have some kind of auto spell check or grammar punctuation check tell you that's wrong.
Right.
Like, it's hard. You have to go out of your way to do something like that.
Say, no, I'm sticking with this.
And yet, the FBI believes they have the clout to send out things like that.
Are you sure? No, it wasn't Agent Jackson Josh that was on your case as well?
I don't know that. Perhaps we're both wanted men. A couple of vagabonds here.
Watch out. He's going to come busting through the door right now.
A regular Bonnie and Clyde. Can we get him on the show?
Yeah, please.
Jackson.
I do have a phone number here. I'm not gonna pull that radio bit and call it because I'm sure that's going to just turn over some sort of information immediately. Or I don't know how this works.
I'm a big fan of the fake name. Another one. I got called once by an IRS scammer who told me he was a. I called him back because he left a voicemail, and I thought this is intriguing enough.
Yeah.
He had an accent. Clearly was not a. I wouldn't predict he was who he said he was because he had a very thick accent. Guy could barely get English out. And he's explaining to me on the phone, and I have to ask him to repeat a couple times that his name was like, oh, God, what was it? It was the most generic. It was like Sergeant Fred Andrews or something. Oh. Just the most all-American name you've ever heard in your whole life. I was like, are you kidding me? Come on. Like
Sergeant Fred.
Yeah, that and the IRS doesn't call people directly like that.
No, not at all.
It was really outstanding. It's incredible to me that, like, the modern criminal thinks that'll work. And what's scary is that in some cases it probably will.
It probably does. Yeah. And it's sad, and it's I mean, you can't even. I think we did a story a couple of weeks ago here on the lunch break about how younger people are getting roped into scams a lot more often than the older generation, which is what you think of when you think of a scammer preying on somebody. It's the elderly, but actually it's younger. I mean, we'll say millennials, but I'm sure they're younger than that who are getting scammed for thousands of dollars from some of these things.
Right.
Speaking of the modern criminal, when we get back, a zoo employee brings a whole new definition to the term bringing your work home with you. Talk about that coming up. He has been charged. We are back on the lunch break on Real News Communications Network. Again, you can catch us Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays until the end of time from noon until 1 o'clock. Taking you through your lunch hour. Take a break from work, join us, say hello, gather all your friends around and say, come watch what I found here.
Yeah, send this to your coworkers. Tell them, look at these jokers. Look at these jokesters. Yeah,
I'm sure they'll appreciate you spamming a bunch of emails saying, you guys got to watch this now.
Talking about pie and OJ in the middle of the day. Yeah.
I mentioned that there is a zoo employee who I don't know, just couldn't get enough of the animals, I guess. A Maryland man is facing charges after stealing some snakes from the zoo that he works. His name's Brandon Boyles. He worked at the Catoctin Zoo and Wildlife Preserve as a reptile handler and decided to take some stuff with him.
Yeah.
And that means he took 6 rattlesnakes, 3 alligators, and a crocodile. And when police
What?
showed up, they also found several other venomous snakes, including cobras. And one of them had gotten out and was roaming around the bedroom. So I'm not really sure what his end game was there, other than just to collect a bunch of venomous snakes and have him hang out in his apartment and have the weirdest death of all time, I guess, perhaps. I'm not really sure what he was going for there, but dude loved him some snakes.
Brandon Boyles sounds like the name of the kid in high school who ran to class between periods. You had one of those kids?
Oh, sure.
Everybody
Absolutely.
had one of those kids.
Yeah.
That sounds like Brandon Boyles. And like, no surprise, the guy that did that, in my head at least, don't know if he was that person, could have been totally cool, becomes a reptile handler at the zoo and ends up stealing 6 snakes and a crocodile?
3 alligators and a crocodile.
3 alligators. And how do you even get those out of a zoo?
I don't know. I assume they were small ones, maybe? I'm not sure.
When was the last time you were at a zoo and you saw an alligator or crocodile?
Probably the last time I went to the zoo, which may have been 6 months ago.
Yeah, I was going to say, I probably went sometime in the last year, I'd say.
Yeah.
Those things are tremendous.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, and also they look very mean.
Well, not to Brandon Boyles. He wanted them he lived in an apartment, by the way. He didn't live in a house. He lived in an apartment.
What was he keeping him?
So there's somebody living directly next door to this gentleman who's got cobras and rattlesnakes and alligators hanging around.
Yeah, was he
in his
keeping it in the
apartment.
community pool?
I
Yeah,
have
how
no
was he
idea.
swinging that?
I have no idea. I don't even know how long. It doesn't say how long he's been. This scam has been going on. I'm not sure if he took them all at once or over the course of a couple of days, or if he's been living with them for quite a while. Of course, he is being charged with theft, I assume. They say he wasn't taking care of them as well, so that's not nice.
See, this is why I can't find a decent apartment in this town with a garden tub. That would explain it, because people like Brandon Boyles ruin it for the rest of us. I wonder. Go ahead.
I was going to say there are those times when you read a rule or something in a handbook and you think, why in the world would this apartment complex say don't put your alligators in the pool? And it's for exactly like this guy. There are the Brandon Boyles of the world who decide to do that.
I've heard, and I don't mean to disparage a service here. I heard this. Hear me out. That of all the armed forces, I know this is getting weird. The ones that are the weirdest, the ones for the guys who are like the oddest, the weird guys, is the Navy. Because for some reason, when you get guys on a ship out in the middle of nowhere or on a submarine underwater, dudes do stupid things, and that just escalates over and over until you get guys doing like ridiculous shenanigans, right?
Yeah.
Stuff that would never fly anywhere else, but in the Navy, it happens. I think of the zoo jobs, right? Of the handlers at the zoo, somebody needs to keep an eye on the reptile guys, right?
Yeah.
Of
I
all
think
of the
there's
ones.
anybody that needs to be under close surveillance is the reptile handler.
Yeah,
probably.
absolutely. Like, if you got to keep your eye on anybody, it's the guy who's really that, and like the arachnids and bug guys, right? You got to watch them.
I think that extends to any sort of pet store employee, the person who's like really into the snakes and the spiders and stuff. You're like, all right, I'm guessing you have a few of these at home yourself.
Right. There's something. It's not like it's not like it's weird per se. It's just odd, right? I think we have evolved as human beings to kind of fear these things because they're poisonous and they bite and they sneak up on us.
Yeah.
There's not a lot we can do. People who are like into that and fascinated by it, it's kind of a morbid curiosity thing. There's nothing wrong with it. Just keep an eye on them, right?
Yeah.
Just make sure you know where they're going.
Know where they are at all times.
Make sure they punch the clock. Yeah, like no, keep those security cameras turned on. Watch them on CCTV.
Check their pockets for snakes.
Check their pockets for snakes at the door. That's right. Yeah. Make sure that sneaking alligators and 3 alligators and a crocodile.
I don't even know how you get out with that.
What zoo was this? Yeah, how did this even?
This was the Catoctin Zoo and Wildlife Preserve. I assume it's in Maryland somewhere, but I'm not sure. Catoctin, yeah.
Wow. Well, kudos to them for their crackerjack security.
Well, I'm glad they figured this out.
Good Lord.
We teased this on Facebook and YouTube, I believe. LinkedIn they scrubbed through the profiles of, I guess, everyone. and they found the most popular buzzwords that people are using in their profiles.
On LinkedIn?
On LinkedIn, yes. But I think this would extend to if you're writing a resume or trying to any place where you're trying to sell yourself to other people in a professional environment. I think this probably would be you would find similar buzzwords here. And so they list here the top 10, and this is something that if you're in a situation where you're having to write a resume, again, for the first time, which I hopefully never will have to.
Have you seen this show? Where are we going?
maybe by 1:30 today, I'll be working on my resume. These are maybe some words that you don't want to use because apparently everybody is using these.
Okay, this is on LinkedIn again.
This is on LinkedIn, but I think when you hear them, you'll say, "Yeah, I probably used that a time or two."
On LinkedIn.
On LinkedIn.
Right.
2018's top 10 buzzwords in the U.S. I'm sorry I don't have a sounder for this, but just imagine one.
Yeah.
Number 1 is specialized. I'm specialized.
Specialized?
Yeah, specialized.
Okay.
Number 2 is experienced.
Okay.
Probably I put that on
Dropped
a resume
experienced
or two.
a couple times.
Very experienced. I'm very experienced and specialized in the art of hosting a midday talk show.
That's right.
3 is leadership. Leadership. Number 4 is skilled. Number 5, probably have used this one, passionate.
Yeah,
very passionate. Number 6, again, similar to some of these others, an expert. You're an expert in a certain field. You're motivated is number 7. Number 8 is creative.
Okay. Yeah.
9 is strategic.
Strategic.
And 10 is successful.
You know, I can respect LinkedIn for what it is. It's this really cool, I guess, attempt at like bridging business and social media.
Yeah.
Facebook's trying to do it with like Facebook Business, so like I get it. I get what it's supposed to be. But if I got to look at like the top 10 buzzwords, I'd rather look at something like Twitter. Because you only get 140 characters. You got to be sharp on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to come up with something new.
Yeah. You got to come up with something good. And on LinkedIn, people can post like blogs and just whatever they want. And there's nothing wrong with that. But like, I don't know. Yeah. I guess I can't say I'm surprised by many of those words.
Yeah. I mean, in reading the list, I think to myself, one, I probably, if I were to be writing something about myself, I probably would use a few of these, and it at least makes me think about not doing that. And two, you can only imagine. I can only imagine the job of someone who has to, I don't know, an HR person or something, has to go through resumes, or a team leader that has to look at resumes all day and just see the same stuff over and over and over again. Like,
yeah,
I'm very passionate about my leadership skills. And I'm skilled in the art of being an expert, and I'm very motivated and strategic.
And creative.
Yeah, I'm very creative. I don't know if you couldn't tell, but mine looks exactly like somebody else's. So
right.
I'm very, very creative.
Yeah, the art of the resume is a subtle thing. I would bet almost all of those words are on mine. And like, honestly, why wouldn't they be, right?
Yeah.
They're all buzzwords to make it seem like you're something you're not.
Yeah.
I think, I think I asked you this before. How deep's your resume? You got 2 pages or 1 page?
I usually, whenever I go through and try to update it, I usually will end up on 2 pages, and then I try to find a way to. I still stick by. I think this is going out of favor now. I think you can go beyond the 1-page resume, but I still stick by the old adage that you need to fit everything on 1 page. Everything about your entire work history needs to be on 1 page.
Right.
So I do my best to make that happen, and most of the time I get there, but yeah.
I used to do 2 pages, and now I'm a 1-page man. You gotta, right? It's exactly what you said. People look at so many resumes, HR people or managers or whoever, like, you want it short, sweet, to the point, you put in your resume, you move on. If they want to know more, they gotta meet you, right? Buy them a coffee, sit down with them, shake their hand,
right?
Throw your hat in the ring. The 2-page resume is just, I don't know, it's like you said, it's falling out of favor.
Yeah, I think, I mean, it becomes less relevant, I think, when people are submitting these things digitally most of the time. So it kind of doesn't matter how many pages you are on. But I can understand how in the days when you're submitting a paper resume, you don't want to just hand them 5 sheets of paper and say, here you go. 1 page makes it much easier to deal with. So I think it's probably good just to make yourself concise and boil it down and not put a bunch of filler in there and just say, here's the most important thing. And stop putting your college job on your resume. I'll stop putting movie gallery on my resume, even though
Right.
I was a manager at one point there.
Movie
I have leadership
gallery.
skills.
That's fantastic. I didn't know you worked in. Oh, no, you told me you worked at a video.
I did.
place,
I worked
yeah.
at a video. That was my first job. It was at a video store.
My first job was at a movie theater. If anybody who listened to this segment is interested in maybe being on the lunch hour from noon to 1 when Josh Hart can't be here, slip us a resume. How about that?
Yeah. Let us know. We'll look you
drop
over.
one in. Yeah, we'll take a gander.
You can tell that we have a very high ceiling or a very high standards for who gets on the show. Clearly, since we haven't filled out the it's just the two of us. And when we get back, we got a couple more things. We got a few minutes left here on the lunch break. When we get back, a study finds that dogs make you more attractive.
What?
And McDonald's is pulling out all the stops for Mother's Day. We'll tell you about that coming up as we close out the lunch break on RNCN. Stick around. We're back. We're rounding out the lunch break on RNCN. Again, give us a follow on Facebook, Real News Communications Network. Leave us a comment before or after the show. We'll take a look at it. We always love your feedback. And share it. That's one of the biggest things you can do is share this post with your friends and say, hey, I found this really funny show, and they make me laugh, they make me happy, and they just give me a better day. That's what we're here to do. I found this, and I pulled it because it's relevant to me, and so that's the most important news. And this says, dogs really do help you get a date. Now, I'm not looking for a date anymore, but puppies make people appear more attractive, caring, approachable. Confirm scientists. That's what the scientists were on this.
This is what the boys at the lab are working on?
Yes.
God forbid we find a cure for cancer
no,
or ALS.
Scientists were on our best people were on the job. Dr. Helen Fisher of the Kinsey Institute in Indiana found that single men hoping to find love might have more luck if they have a dog. And that is research found people with dogs are perceived to be more attractive. They're perceived to be happier, more caring, approachable, and empathetic. And men, in particular, this works better for men.
Right.
They seem to be more caring and selfless if they've made a commitment to looking after their pet. I guess if you really want to get, I don't know, biological about it, they're seen as a caregiver, perhaps, or you could see a potential partner could see you as raising a family together because you've raised a pet on your own. So if you're out there and you're looking for love, maybe think about getting a dog and go walking it. It is a great way to meet people. Yeah, I will say that walking your dog, you're going to run into other people who
also
are out
walk
walking
their dogs.
or out walking their dogs.
My old roommate after college, senior year of college, I should say, he broke up with his girlfriend a long time. It's a real bummer. And he went out and got a dog. And he found like the most adorable freaking dog he could find. Mm-hmm. It works, man. I mean, he's still a bachelor, to be fair. It's not like he landed the big fish. But, he does all right. Yeah, and he takes the dog places. He lives out in California now, so he'll go to the beach and walk the dog and then go running with the dog. And, yeah, it's effective, I suppose. I think women... I'm talking about this on another show we do, Cinderella Has Cellulite with Donna Arp Weitzman. Women are in a weird spot with men because woman goes on a date with a man. Let me rephrase this. Man goes on a date with a woman. What do you have to look forward to? You have to look forward to somebody who's probably smaller, shorter in stature, right? Higher pitched voice, a little lighter, airy, fun.
Sure.
Woman goes out on a date with a man, you got like this brutish, 6 foot tall, barrel chested, hairy dude.
Just an ogre of a person.
Is probably totally putting on airs,
Right.
to act like he's some cool,
a nightmare of an individual.
right, like it's like you're taming a lion. So as far as like meeting a guy who's got a dog, I think there's definitely something to that. It's like, oh, he's caring and he's kind and he's responsible and he can take care of an animal.
Sure. This person that responded to this survey says, the bottom line, that message that women get when they see a man with a dog is he's capable of nurturing, giving without receiving, and caring for another. He's made a commitment to this animal.
Man, I couldn't feel less right about that. I feel completely the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you're single and you've got an animal, like I think that's kind of says some things about you. I think that means you need something to kind of put some love on, right? You need somebody to come home to, right? You need
you can't be alone.
Right. You need some force in your life that is there for you. You're not okay with just kind of being on your own and striking out and doing your own thing. And I think doesn't it kind of marginalize your time? I mean, it's not like you're dating this individual and they're going to be spending every second with you, because at some point they're going to be like, well, got to make it home and feed, Rover.
I liked that. I liked that that kind of built-in clock, because I'm very socially inept is probably the best word. I don't like to be in social situations all that much. So having a dog made it easy for me to say, I got to go. Sorry, dog needs to get let out. Even if I didn't really have to, even if I had just let the dog out, be like, no, sorry, I gotta go. It's feeding time.
It's a great
time.
out. Yeah, if you can swing it.
I love it.
No, and it worked out because you found somebody who's like the same way about their animals.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So it's great. Yeah, but for me, who's not a pet owner, I think I would see it as a turnoff. If you have an animal,
a lot of anti-dog sentiment coming from the booth.
I think I would. It's not okay. It's not just dogs. All animals, to be fair. Okay. Yeah, it's a Hitler-esque approach. Yeah, I don't hate one. I hate all of them.
Good Lord.
Yeah, it's. I gotta stop.
Let's move on to our final story.
Let's move on to our final story
for the lunch break. It wouldn't be a lunch break without some food news. And Mother's Day is it's still a few months away. Don't panic, folks. You haven't forgotten Mother's Day, although it did just pass in the UK. So the UK celebrates their Mother's Day in March, I guess. So there was a McDonald's in a town, and I'm not even trying to pronounce it right now. There's a McDonald's in England that had a Mother's Day menu, so a 3-course meal. Bring your mom to McDonald's for Mother's Day and get served a 3-course meal.
There you go. Get her the large Pepsi. Yeah. She deserves it.
Now, I will say they were not doing anything special. They were not, they're not suddenly serving you steak.
Okay.
You just pay a flat fee, and then you get your choice of your first course as an appetizer, of course. You could get mozzarella cheese sticks, 4 McNuggets, or carrot sticks and some dip, so a little healthy option there. Your main course, you could choose from a Big Mac, a chicken sandwich, a filet of fish, or a veggie burger. And then, of course, what is a 3-course meal without dessert? And your options were a McFlurry, fruit, a muffin, or an apple pie. So all of that for $14. Not bad for a day out with your mom at McDonald's.
Shout out to anybody who took their mom to McDonald's and planned on getting the carrot sticks, the veggie burger, and the apple pie. Do not think for a second McDonald's is somehow healthy.
Yeah, exactly. You're fooling yourself.
That you're so fooling yourself. And go ahead.
I see this happen a lot with a lot of fast food chains try to get on the Thanksgiving. Come here for Thanksgiving. We'll give you a turkey and dressing sandwich or something like that. I see that a lot. I don't know that I've always thought about taking them up on it just to see what it was like to go and sit at a fast food restaurant for a holiday meal. It's fine if that's what you want to do. It's just not ever something I've done.
I think McDonald's is the perfect. It's the perfect American fast food restaurant because it is a perfect analogy for America, and that it's just a series of half measures, right? that's right. McDonald's. McDonald's finds out, people like healthy stuff, people like Subway, and they come up with salads that have dressings with like 1,300
and
calories
fried chicken on it.
Yeah, like the salad is worse.
And
than
it was
a Big
good
Mac.
though.
Oh well, yeah.
The McDonald's salads were pretty good.
They find out that barbecue is cutting in on their profits, and their answer to that is the McRib.
Also good.
Also good. They find out it's International Women's Day, and they flip their logo to make it look like a W, because I guess every other day of the year it's an M for men.
Right.
So shout out to McDonald's. And then when it's Mother's Day, they come out with a 3-course meal that really is just kind of a lame attempt at getting some buzz on social media, right? Exactly what we're talking about here.
Look, you got us. You got us, McDonald's. Congratulations.
Exactly. And that's why it's so perfect for America, because you have us.
Yeah.
You got us.
We know all of this, and you got us anyway.
We're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
We love you, McDonald's. Thank you.
All right, so that brings us to the end of the lunch break. I think we're going to get it on time today. Thank you for watching. Share this, like this, comment on this. Again, Facebook page is facebook.com/Real News Communications Network. You can find all of our stuff there, all of our podcasts, everything that we do, including the lunch break on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of every week from noon Central until 1 o'clock Central. And we'll be back on Friday. See ya.
See ya.